Hello everyone, lend me your ears for a minute. It's module 2 of the competition chapter. Clap your hands if you believe in overcoming competition. Okay, yeah, that's enough. This isn't a concert. So this is going to be a shorter module than a lot of the others, but it has a nice introspective section that is super important. Well, they're all important, but this is super important. We're going to work with personas we created, and I'm going to show you how to understand how the people they represent might perceive your establishment. So the intro is short too, thank God, as there are only 2 points in the video. The first we'll be doing is learning that thing I just mentioned, how to understand what the personas think about the hotel and how they perceive it. And for the second bit, I'm going to give you examples with the personas of my hotel, the Jewel of the Isle of Man, the Hotel Ace of Clubs. And I choose not to comment on whether or not our hotel is on the Isle of Man for tax reasons. So, how do we find out what the personas we created in the first chapter think about the hotel, and why on earth does that matter at all? Well, to get to the bottom of that little conundrum, you have to do a little mentalist work and put yourself in the shoes of the personas to self-judge your own property. So you're like Clarice Starling visiting Hannibal Lecter in order to find out what he thinks of your hotel. Okay? Got it? Now, being honest, this isn't the easiest thing to be doing, but it is necessary if you want to understand how your hotel is perceived by the customers. You know, armed with this kind of knowledge, you will have an easier time adjusting your image and your price to be sure to provide them with an offer and a service that is completely adapted to what they are looking for. And like an offense is a good defense, the key to successful introspection is to get outside and look in, as if you were visiting your own hotel and thinking of it as a place you're discovering for the first time, okay? So you're Marlon Brando in the 1960s, peak of your powers, and you've just got the role of a lifetime, which is your own personas. So you're going to get into their shoes, learn their character like I'm about to yell, action. So, into the nitty-gritty of it. The kind of questions you need to ask yourself when you visit your hotel in the role of one of your personas could be any or all of the following. Is this a luxury or a budget hotel? Will my children have fun here? Is this romantic enough for a romantic weekend? Will I, Mr. Big Shot Businessman, find the services I need here? High-speed Wi-Fi, early breakfast, presentation rooms, scotch, in order to make my stay as productive as humanly possible? Does the hotel meet standards and reassure me from a COVID perspective, etc., etc., etc.? Whatever other questions you think your personas might ask, the best way to figure it out for sure is walking a mile in their shoes and taking notes as you do so. You might also find a little help with this task from friends or family or mere acquaintances who may not be very familiar with your property, because it takes an outsider, you know? That's why Poirot was such a good detective. He was always on the move, he was always new in town. Seeing something with first-time eyes grants all kinds of new perspective. So let's just pop some lines through point number 1 and move on to point number 2. So, I'm now going to move on to point 2 by showing you examples with the 3 personas of my own hotel, with complimentary martini and hot stone massage for all returning patrons, the Ace of Clubs Hotel. You can do the exercises afterwards, just take your cues from me. Well, I mean, there's no one else here, and it's why I'm here, but yeah. So, in our hotel, if you remember correctly, and Lord knows I do, I have to see them every day, we have the following 3 personas: couple, business, and family. And just to remind you for a second, our hotel has these exemplary characteristics that you see before you here in this slide. So, I'll start with the couple. I'm a person close to 30, living with my girlfriend for a good 5 years. I come from a small town in the country and make a reasonable salary. I go out and I like spending time with my girlfriend at the weekend, so that maybe she won't make such a big deal of it when I attend my brother's stag in Las Vegas next year. Okay, now that I'm in character, I'm going straight to the Ace of Clubs hotel, and I'm expecting them to have the place drenched in romance, since it's a hotel in the big city, with a somewhat fancy decor and good services. It's got spa, in-room breakfast, petals everywhere, perfume towels. I'm pretty impressed. So, as couple man, I'd like to thank the Academy. I see the hotel as a place where I can spend some quality time with my lady friend, where we'll both enjoy a nice unwinding, and besides that, the hotel even offers a romantic breakfast, which everybody knows is the most delicious kind of breakfast. See, according to the persona I've been channeling for the last few minutes, and who you'll see on Broadway in his own one-man show, I'm sure the Hotel Clubs is ace altogether. See what I did there? Next. Okay, so let's move on to Mr. Business Big Shot persona. Suit, tie, cufflinks, coffee. I'm just under 50 years old. I have places to go and people to see. I come from the big city and I make a good living, but I work hard for it. Damn it. Work is important to me, and when I go to a hotel on business, I need everything to be perfect. Okay, that'll do. It's business time. So I arrive at the Hotel Ace of Clubs, and I like the chic decoration and friendly staff. But what grabs me most is I notice that it's clean and quiet and a good place to work in. I ask when breakfast is, and they tell me from 8:30 a.m. Oh no, so late. That's a negative point for the club. I want to start the day early because I have work to do. I love work. In the room, I see that there's a spacious desk and a lot of electric plugs, so I can have my computer, printer, mobile phone, and lava lamp all working at once. This is good. The only drawback is that when I want to connect to Wi-Fi, I have to register, which sees me fuming for at least 45 seconds. But the speed is good enough to make HD video calls, which I happen to do a lot of, so kind of balances it out maybe. So, I perceive the hotel as a pleasant place, favorable to intense working sessions, but some points of service could definitely be improved upon, namely an earlier breakfast and an internet connection that doesn't make me register. So, I am semi-satisfied. For sure I could be happier, but no one's going to get fired out of my frustration for having to register on the internet, for example. So, here we see the usually flawless presentation of Hotel des Clubs has in fact blundered the ball here. Mr. Big Shot Businessman is not quite satisfied. Luckily, it's nothing we can't fix, and we won't find ourselves too far out of pocket. Last persona, the family. This time I'm going to be a mother in her 40s who has been married for 15 years. I have 2 children, one of whom is in his teens and hates me at the moment, but he'll get over it eventually. I come from the London suburbs. I spend a lot of time in the city during the week. My financial situation is comfortable, and I love spending time with my family, making beautiful memories that we relive in conversations over our meals while my son looks at TikTok. And action. I arrived at the Hotel of Clubs easily from the airport because a shuttle bus was sent to collect us. Awesome. We're right in the centre, so there's plenty to see and to visit. The check-in goes very well, and we are shown to our spacious rooms. We look around, but can see no leaflets of things to do in the city. I mean, it's true, we could use our phones, but you never get as good recommendations as when the hotel puts in the effort, and it's a nice personal touch besides. Pity. We wanted to take a stroll around and see some sights. But we are all reassured, however, by the neat COVID protocols and feel super safe, so that's nice. So, I perceive the hotel positively because the location is ideal, but I am disappointed that I have no help on what to do. All doubts about health and safety have been cleared up immediately. So, according to this person's perception, the hotel is missing just a few leaflets stopping the guest from leaving a very favourable review. By training staff to give some tips on things to do in the city with the family, the hotel can ensure that everyone is happy. A QR code in the room that leads to a website of iconic sites and things to do would be a nice touch and requires very little effort. So, now that you understand what you're up to, it's time to get into character and get going with your own personas. So, lights, cameras, pause. See you in a bit. Alright, and let's put lines through point 2, and all's well that ends well, I suppose. Now, wasn't that nice? A little bit of introspection. Well, I had my fun, and that's all that matters. No, your fun matters too. Your fun matters way more, in fact. You know that. Because, you're my friends. I love you. See you next time in the next video, folks. Bye.